The Dothraki language is a constructed fictional language in George R. R. Martin's fantasy novel series A Song of Ice and Fire and its television adaptation Game of Thrones, where it is spoken by the Dothraki, the indigenous inhabitants of the Dothraki Sea. The language was developed for the TV series by the linguist David J. Peterson based on the Dothraki words and phrases in Martin's novels. As of September 2011, the language comprised 3,163 words, not all of which have been made public. In 2012, 146 newborn girls in the U.S. were named Khaleesi, the Dothraki term for the wife of a khal or ruler, and the title adopted in the series by Daenerys Targaryen. Development. The Dothraki vocabulary was created by Peterson well in advance of the adaptation. HBO hired the Language Creation Society to create the language, and after an application process involving over 30 conlangers, David Peterson was chosen to develop the Dothraki language. He delivered over 1,700 words to HBO before the initial shooting. Peterson drew inspiration from George R. R. Martin unregistered trademark's description of the language, as well as from such languages as Turkish, Russian, Estonian, Inuktitut and Swahili. David J. Peterson and his development of the Dothraki language were featured on an April 8, 2012 episode of CNN's The Next List. He went on to create the Valyrian languages for Season 3 of Game of Thrones. Language constraints. The Dothraki language was developed under two significant constraints. First, the language had to match the uses already put down in the books. Secondly, it had to be easily pronounceable or learnable by the actors. These two constraints influence the grammar and phonology of the language. For instance, voiceless stops can be aspirated or unaspirated, as in English. Phonology and romanization. David Peterson has said that most people probably don't unregistered trademark T really know what Arabic actually sounds like, so to an untrained ear, it might sound like Arabic. To someone who knows Arabic, it does unregistered trademark T. I tend to think of the sound as a mix between Arabic and Spanish, due to the dental consonants. Regarding the orthography, the Dothraki themselves do not have a writing system nor do many of the surrounding peoples. If there were to be any written examples of Dothraki in the A Song of Ice and Fire universe, it would be in a writing system developed in the Free Cities and adapted to Dothraki, or in some place like Gis or Korth, which do have writing systems. Consonants. There are 23 consonant phonemes in the Dothraki language. Here the romanized form is given on the left, and the IPA in brackets. The letters C and X never appear in Dothraki, although C appears in the digraph CH, pronounced like Czech. B and P seem to appear only in names, as in Barbo and Pono. Voiceless stops may be aspirated. This does not change word meaning. Vowels. Dothraki has a four-vowel system shown below. In the A Song of Ice and Fire books, U never occurs as a vowel, appearing only after Q, and only in names, as in Jikai and Quaro. In sequence of multiple vowels, each such vowel represents a separate syllable. Examples: Shirak, E florin, that is E 3/4 arc star, Reish, E 3/4 hectare, E a florin country, Khaleesi, E Zali, E sea queen. Grammar. Parts of speech. Though prepositions are also sometimes employed, the language is foremost inflectional. Prefixes, suffixes and circumfixes are all used. Verbs conjugate in infinite, past, present, future, to imperatives and participle. They also agree with person, number and polarity. Nouns divide into two classes, inanimate and animate. They decline in 5 cases: nominative, accusative, genitive, allative and ablative. Animate nouns also decline according to number. Word order. Basic word order is SVO. In a basic sentence, the order of these elements is as in English: first comes the subject, then comes the verb, then comes the object. Khal abhas arak. The khal sharpened the arak. Rak hard strong boy, allegra ivzh wild duck, jin arak this arak. Rek cares that lion. When only a subject is a present, the subject precedes the verb, as it does in English, arak hasa. The arak is sharp. In noun phrases there is a specific order as well. The order is as follows: demonstrative, noun, adverb, adjective, genitive noun, prepositional phrase. Prepositions always precede their noun complements. But adjectives, possessor and prepositional phrases all follow the noun. Ginave sec vervanani morthicun, this father very violent of mine with a whip, this very violent father of mine with a whip. Adverbs normally are sentence final, but they can also immediately follow the verb. Modal particles precede the verb. In the episode Andy's ancestry from the United States television show The Office, Dwight Schrute created the Dothraki phrase throat rip by placing throat in front to make it the accusative. David J. Peterson adapted that language technique and called it the Schrutian compound. Sample, Nevaki Haman, Rek, Marasaki Norathi Fit. Slashi Niavaksi Eviksahame Nai Reki E May 3/4 Asaki Ni A 3/4 Ai Fiti slash, seat. Gen exist 3SG Presva 3SG ACC with coward ALLPL hair. Gen short, there is a place for him, there, with the short-haired cowards. References. External links, the official Dothraki blog, the LCS blog about the language, the Dothraki language wiki.